Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to be notified what is going on. So Terence Crawford says, calls up Earl Spence Jr., says, man, we got this company trying to pay us 25 mil. You know what I'm saying? And he's basically telling Earl Spence, you need a boss up, and we need to get this bag, especially if your network is not trying to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? We have it 25 mil guaranteed. We could split the money how we want to. You know what I'm saying? Um, they funding this and they want to see the fight. You know what I mean? And Earl Spence, Terence Crawford basically says Earl Spence has to go back to Al Heyman and get managed by him. You know what I'm saying? He can't move on his own. He's not a boss. He's nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Now that Terence Crawford is now um, a free agent, he can move around how he wants to move around, and you know he has some offers on the table, which obviously 10 million to fight David Avenesian on a third party streaming platform, which doesn't sound too bad, right? It obviously doesn't sound too bad, um, and 10 mil, you know what I mean? 10 million for him, obviously for the fighter, it's not bad. For the fans, it's bad because the fans, we want to see the fight, right? We want to see the big fight. But he said that he gave them all the time in the world, right? He gave them everything. He accepted everything, but he wasn't. But Al Heyman was really not trying to make that fight happen. You know what I'm saying? Basically, he was not trying to make that fight happen. Now, how true is that? We don't know. All we have is Terence Crawford's side of the story and whatever he says. Okay. Um, he wanted to meet up with Al Heyman with his lawyer, sit down and actually talk about the stuff. Al Heyman responds and says, he has family problems. Of course, we all understand that. But then he comes back and then he says, man, nobody ever does that. Nobody sits down in the table and actually does that. Terence Crawford then he's like, what the fuck? I mean, well, this is the first time for everything. You know what I'm saying? Al Heyman basically was trying to stall him out. You know what I mean? That's basically what Terence Crawford is saying, that he's trying to stall him out. You know what I'm saying? He has the opportunities. These other third party streaming platforms are trying to give them the bag. And obviously, they're not trying to take advantage of that. He proposed to Al Heyman that he's got a company that's trying to pay them the money, but Al Heyman is not trying to allow that fight to happen if it's not under their network. I think that it has to do with Showtime and their deals. Showtime probably would not allow Earl Spence and Terence Crawford to fight somewhere else and not be uh, in any type of certain notoriety into that, right? So Terence Crawford comes out, I guess he feels like in this situation, you know what I'm saying, that he did everything possible, everything that he could, right? Then taking the deal with Avenesian was a no-brainer for him, he feels like, because of the fact that, you're getting 10 million to fight a guy, you know what I'm saying, which he said it was tough. He was a tough dude and stuff like that. David Avenesian, he's a decent fighter, you know what I'm saying? He's not gonna be anything that he hasn't seen before, right? It's not gonna be a big surprise or anything like that. It's basically him gonna get the bag and you know what I'm saying, and continue on about his day. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? It's not a tough fight. You know what I mean? But it leaves a lot of questions though, because there's gonna be arguments on both sides, right? Both fan bases are definitely gonna go at it. You know what I mean? The reason why is because the fight is not being made. The fight that everybody wanted to see did not get made. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's a huge problem. Um, Now that I guess Earl Spence is going to be fighting Keith Thurman, and Terence Crawford, obviously, uh, David Avenesian, with the potential fight happening in 2023, supposedly. But like I said, man, don't get your hopes up. This shit is not a much needed fight, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? It's not a fight that you really need to see. I think that, once that fight actually happens, it's the same shit all the time. You know what I mean? Once those big fights happen, when they drag shit along, when they stress out the fans is going crazy. At the end of the day, the fight is some shit, anyways. You know what I mean? The fight just it's not. The fighters are just gonna be there to get the bag, and that's it. And the look, man, and let's be honest, nobody wants to see this fucking fight, to be honest, right? It's dragged out for no reason, to be honest, as well. Because think about that shit. After Terence Crawford went online and he said what he said and said everything, nobody was talking about that shit. You know what I'm saying? You can go on any social media platform and look at people that don't watch boxing. Nobody was talking about that shit. Nobody gave a fuck to talk about it. Nobody cared to talk about it. It's not big news at all, right? It's not. I don't even think ESPN has talked about it. Um, Nobody has even fucking mirrored the wanting to talk about that fight. Nobody cares to talk about it, right? Um, Obviously, boxing fans of boxing, people that just love boxing, they want to see the fight because it's a good fight in their eyes. But I'm gonna tell you now, man, it's not a good fight. To be honest, it's not a good fight. Don't even invest yourself. Don't put all your eggs in one basket because it's not a good fight. It's gonna be a very cautious fight. Two fighters going in there scared to throw hands. It's not gonna be a good fight. And for casual fans, they're not even interested in that shit. You know what I mean? They're not interested in that type of fight. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I understand. Fans of the fighters are upset and stuff like that. But it's someday that you got to grow up and be a fucking man. And you know what I'm saying? And the fight is just not going to happen, dog. It's just not. I'm sorry to tell you. It's just not. You know what I'm saying? And if it does, it's going to be the most boring event in the history of boxing. You know what I'm saying? I could already picture it. Like, every time that I talk about it, I could picture it more in my head how boring this fight will be, how boring these guys are. If they're boring, they can't market themselves either. What do you think a fight with both those guys is gonna be like? Think about that. They can't even talk. They can't even come out and really even, you know what I'm saying, talk shit right. You know what I'm saying? And you think that the fight's gonna be good? Come on, let's be serious. I think that is more that both fighters are pound for pound fighters. You know what I'm saying? I think that fans want to see that. And fans got um Terence Crawford as number one, and Earl Spence might be number like 3, 4. You know what I'm saying? So I think that right there might be one of the reasons why, but I wouldn't stress it. You know what I'm saying? Look, these dudes don't even fucking pay for pay-per-views, man. They say, I got a fire stick. You say, yeah, I got a fire stick too. We got fire sticks. You know what I'm saying? They don't even pay for fights, bro. You know what I mean? And they expect you to pay for their pay-per-views. Look, man, this shit is crazy. The sport of boxing is crazy. It's crazy. There's no way in hell. There's just no way in hell, to be honest. But I I I understand Crawford's standpoint on this. I definitely do, right? I definitely understand Crawford's standpoint. The standpoint is that it's an easy money grab for him, right? He could just go and fight this dude for $10 million and come back and, you know what I'm saying, and try to get the fight in 2023. It's a good. It's for him. It's good for him. It's good. You know what I'm saying? For him, it's good, but for people that, you know what I mean, like, um for people that they people don't want to wait. You know what I'm saying? That's another problem. People don't want to wait. They just don't. They just don't. It's just not. Waiting is like, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna I don't know. But hey, he's I understand where he's coming from though. I'm gonna go get this bag and maybe we can make this fight in 2023, right? I try to give y'all all the all everything, and you guys like aren't trying to make anything happen. So I might as well move on and go get my money somewhere else and stay active. You know what I'm saying? That's his standpoint on it. Let me stay active. You know what I mean? And that's understandable because as a fighter, you don't want to go cold. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to freeze yourself out, not fight, and then you come back and then it's too much, right? And Earl Spence, I understand his standpoint where he's at 147. He's been at 147 for too long. I understand that standpoint. He doesn't want to keep waiting around to make this big fight, especially now you got to fight somebody. Now I got to go fight somebody. I got to drain myself, put myself through all of this stuff, and then we come back in 2023 and come back and make the fight happen. I mean, for him, I understand as well. You know what I'm saying? I understand both fighters' standpoints. So whose fault is it? It's I've changed my stance. It's everybody's fault. It's everybody's fault. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody's fault. I used to say, you can't blame the network because there's no revenue coming in. These fighters, you know what I'm saying? They're not making crazy pay-per-views. People aren't fucking going crazy to watch them. Nobody really cares to watch them. I understand the business standpoint on it. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna make no money off this fight. Earl Spence, I understand his standpoint. He doesn't want to wait around for a dude. I understand Terence Crawford's standpoint. He's gonna get 10 million. He's gonna be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go give some money somewhere else. I understand all standpoints, but who's at fault? All of these motherfuckers at fault. Everybody, the network, Earl Spence, Terence Crawford, they all at fault. Why? Because they feel entitled to shit that they feel entitled. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, that's what it is. They feel entitled. You know what I'm saying? You feel entitled that you're gonna be able to let me get 10 mil. The fuck you asking 10 million for, bro? You're not worth 2 mil. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Your viewership says that you're only worth 100,000, right? And like I said in my last time that I talked about this fight, they need a boxing needs to start treating these dudes like Dana White, milking the shit out of these dudes, bro. It ain't no fucking reason. It ain't no reason why these dudes are asking for obscene amounts of money and feel entitled to obscene amounts of money when you don't bring nothing to the table. I'm sorry to tell you this. You could be built like Earl Spence and still not be one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's just how the media portrays you and who's getting talked about. Simple as that. But these guys aren't high level fighters. They're not none of that. Earl Spence may be a little now because he has the Dallas Cowboys Stadium and stuff like that. He has a big fan base in Dallas. And Terence Crawford, yeah, he got a big fan base in Omaha, where they're from. But other than that, nobody really wants to see these guys. Nobody talks about these guys. The only way they could really make money off of these guys is at the live gate. I think that's what they're going to do to Omaha, Nebraska with December 10th, when Terence Crawford has to fight David Avanesian. When he has to fight David Avanesian, they gonna come up, they're gonna get that live gate, they're gonna extend it. You're gonna be 2,000 up in like 400 section. You know what I'm saying? Up in the nosebleeds. You know what I mean? So that's the only way you could really make money off of Terence Crawford and David Avanesian as well, right? It's how is that little app, how is the streaming service going to be able to generate the amount of money to pay Terence Crawford 10 million, to pay Adrian Broner 10 million within 3 fights? It's not going to happen. It just does not happen like that. It makes no sense. This company only has 44,000 followers on Instagram. How the fuck do you expect yourself with 44,000 followers on Instagram, if you're selling a pay-per-view at what, $40, let's say you're selling a pay-per-view at $40, that's $2 million. If everybody, all 44,000 of those fight of that account actually pay for that fucking app and then actually watch the fight for $40, that's only $2 million. How the hell, where are you getting the money from? Where are the statistics? There is no revenue in that. There is no profit in that. You know what I'm saying? I think that this is just whoever, they just want to make a fight with Terence Crawford to say that they did it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's on somebody's bucket list. Let me make a fucking a boxing event or something, and let me sign off on that. But other than that, come on, let's be honest. Let's be for real. You know what I'm saying? There is no money. There is no money in that. You know what I'm saying? No profit, at least. No profit. The money's there, obviously, right? David Abenisian has been paid in full. Terence Crawford has been paid partially per Bob Arum, right? So per Bob Arum, per Frank Warren. You know what I'm saying? So come on, let's be honest. Ain't no money in that shit. Ain't no money in a Terence Crawford, David Abenisian fight. You're gonna lose more than you're gonna gain. You know what I'm saying? And they gonna find out. They gonna find out. You know, they definitely gonna find out. They might stick around for one event. This is their first major event to be, and let's be very clear about this. This is the first major event. Think about that. How is it? How is this your first major event? The closest thing to the major event that they've held on that fucking streaming service app was fucking Street Beefs. Street Beefs. I mean, must I say more? You know what I mean? Street Beefs. You type it on YouTube, you see these fucking guys that just out going nuts in Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Just fucking fighting, in the backyard. That was their glory on that app, right? Street Beefs. Come on, man. Let's be serious. Let's be serious. Let's be very clear about everything. There is no way. Casual fans not buying that shit. Why? Because it's too time consuming to even fucking download an app, pay for the shit, put in your credit card information, pay for the shit, and then watch this fight. That's too much for somebody, right? Especially when you live in the digital age where everything is like this, like this. And if it's not accessible enough, that's what the zone, they have to fucking market that they're a streaming app. It's a lot of people find it complicated to find the zone, or how to download the zone, put your credit card information, how to pick a plan that's gonna work for you. You want to do $20 a month, or you want to do 100 a month, and then now they've added pay-per-view, so they're gonna see a downfall. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna see a downfall because people are canceling their subscriptions like it's no tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? When they first came out, they were affordable, accessible. They had they had good events on there. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're not into like other different events, but they still had all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? You get on there, you check it out. You know what I mean? And they was doing pretty good. Switched it up, and people will feel some type of way about it. You know what I'm saying? Feel some type of way. But I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they gonna do. I don't know what they gonna do um, to get this money, but it ain't no way. It ain't no way. And I think that they're gonna be one and done. You know what I'm saying? I think that this streaming company, maybe one more event after this one with Adrian Broner. No, actually three more events maybe with Adrian Broner, and I think they'll be finished and out of the sport. Simple as that. There ain't no way in hell they're gonna be able to. There ain't no way in hell they're gonna be able to live in the sport. You know what I'm saying? Maybe and maybe they're like, we're gonna take this L at first. You know what I'm saying? But maybe the the future, or the opportunity in the future, is to obviously stay inside of boxing, stay within boxing, and move gradually, right? Because obviously they came in, made a splash, but then probably gonna be like, well, let's make this splash, and then let's build on that, right? Let's build on that momentum. Let's build on all of that. Maybe that might be what they're doing. It could be, right. It could be, because it's too early to call, right. The only thing that I see is that they're not making that money. They're not. You know what I'm saying? They're not making that money back. You paying Terence Crawford 10 mil, that 10 mil is gone. You know what I'm saying? That's an L. Right now they're just trying to get back to like maybe they might make 5 million off the whole event. But you have other fighters, maybe. I don't know if they're only gonna do one fight, maybe like 2-3 fights on the undercards or whatever. But you got to pay the undercard. You got to pay obviously the stadium fees and all of that. And the live gators was really gonna make the money for them. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be. It can't be the pay-per-view, because that's brand new, right? That's what they're introducing newly. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people ain't gonna download that shit. A lot of people gonna stream that shit. I mean, look, Terence Crawford is gonna be inside of the ring, and he's gonna stream that shit himself. He's gonna be streaming that shit. You know what I mean? He's gonna get on his Fire Stick and he's gonna stream that shit. Simple as that. You think Earl Spence paying for that app? Hell no. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's paying for shit nowadays, bro. The economy is fucked. The economy is trash. Nobody's paying for that. $4, $4 at the pump, $3 for some milk, $6 for some milk, $3 for some eggs. Fuck out of here. Who the fuck putting $40 to watch this dude just beat on a dude? Like, that's not interesting, to be honest. It's not interesting because Terence Crawford is not gonna make it interesting. One thing that I did, what did I think? One thing that I did take a notice was, I think that BLK Prime told Terence Crawford to come out and make a public service announcement. I think that was one of their things. They might have told him, yo, you got to come out, say a little something. You know what I'm saying? Say a little something on being on talk, what I'm saying, to market yourself a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Make people know what happened, why the deal didn't go through with Earl Spence, and why you're taking the deal with BLK Prime. You know what I'm saying? I think BLK Prime has something to do with that. They might have been like, yo, you know what I'm saying, you should definitely do that. You know what I mean? Because you probably get on the good graces of some people. Obviously not Earl Spence's people, but maybe Terence Crawford people that were looking at him funny and shit like that. Maybe like you might captivate those people back. You know what I'm saying? So who knows, right? Who knows? But I mean, hey, look, man. If he's getting 10 million, he earned that shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't be mad at another man for going to get the bag that he's gonna get. You know what I'm saying? You can't be mad at him. So I'm not mad at Terence Crawford and his decision and standpoint. I understand that completely, right? I understand Earl Spence. If he says today, he's like, man, I gotta move up. Fuck that. I ain't waiting around for you. I understand that too, champ. And I understand the business side as well. So you can only put the blame on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's at fault. You know what I mean? Everybody's at fault. You can't blame them for what they doing, but they at fault though. You know what I'm saying? Because the fight that everybody wanted to see did not get made, and that's why they're at fault. You know what I'm saying? Because they failed the fans. They failed the fans as fighters, as promotional company, as management. They failed the fans, right? And all I really give a fuck about is the fans' point of view. So they failed the fans by not making this fight. Now, do I get it? Am I understanding of what's going on and why it's not happening? Definitely, I understand, and I understand if all parties involved just like fuck it, not, you know what I'm saying. But they failed the fans, so it's everybody's fault there. Everybody's fault of, you know what I'm saying? Even, you know what? Even the fans though, because these dudes ain't selling and the numbers don't align, is because of the fans. Because the fans ain't engaged in watching these dudes. You know what I'm saying? They I mean, Lord knows they try to put Earl Spence on pay-per-views and stuff like that, but it don't do numbers. You know what I'm saying? It's just the truth. Feel me? What's going on? Real talk. He says you one of the few that's on some realistic shit. Yeah, man. I mean, bro, let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? I care about what the fans care about. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, both fan bases, they're obviously gonna be going at each other because they want the fight. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. It's not because, oh, they have such a hatred towards the fighter. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more because they just want to see the fight. They want to see the matchup. You know what I'm saying? So, but they all at fault. You know what I'm saying? They all at fault. Everybody is at fault. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. Because the fans wanted to see the fight and they didn't make the fight happen. Simple as that, man. So, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to be notified. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at P4P Boxing Real News, and I'm out. Peace.